It's been a busy week here in the Inland Northwest, so let's get you caught up with the KREM 2 News Week in Review. I'm Cody Proctor. Thanks for watching. Over the next half hour, we'll take a look at some of the news you might have missed from the past week here in the Inland Northwest. Let's get started with one of the week's biggest stories.
A newly filed lawsuit contains new details about what led up to 19-year-old Luke Tyler taking his own life in his WSU dorm. Attorneys for Luke's parents say it's a wrongful death with a fraternity and telemedicine company to blame.
This is the future of healthcare.
The lawsuit alleges Luke, a WSU freshman, was targeted by an ad from telehealth company Hims and Hers in August 2022. Within hours of filling out a questionnaire and instant messaging a provider, attorneys say he was prescribed 90 days worth of bupropion, an antidepressant known to increase risk of suicide in adolescents. Luke messaged Hims providers. He had a history of undiagnosed depression with bad self-harm habits. He said he wanted a way to cope without paying a therapist or worrying his parents.
In a very, very short amount of time, him having depression or needing antidepressants and then taking his life that way. It doesn't make sense.
Tyler's family and attorneys declined to speak about the lawsuit for now, but Colleen and John Tyler spoke with our station, King 5, shortly after Luke's death. Their attorneys write Hims sent Luke months worth of antidepressants without ever physically speaking to him, a violation, they argue, of Washington state law, which requires telemedicine providers at minimum meet with patients by video or audio. And even after he complained the pills were making him feel worse, Hims providers doubled Luke's dose and sent him another 90-day supply. Months later, attorneys write, he'd used that massive amount of leftover pills to end his life. A toxicology report showed the level of bupropion in Luke's body was 27.5 times the toxic dose. The Tylers are also suing Theta Chi fraternity and 2 pledge marshals from the WSU chapter, claiming Luke was the victim of hazing that contributed to his suicide. The lawsuit details how pledges like Luke were made to lick syrup off the floor, fight one another, and drink dangerous amounts of alcohol. KREM 2 reached out to Theta Chi fraternity and Hims and Hers, but did not hear back. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
His house on Spokane South Hill may look normal from the outside, but life for Ryan Becker inside is anything but.
1 in 17.5 trillion, it would be like picking the same grain of sand out of all of the sand on Earth, picking the same exact one out 4 times in a row.
Becker has been in a continuous 10-month battle for survival with pyoderma gangrenosum, a rare inflammatory skin disease that causes large painful sores on the skin. It's a condition described by doctors as one of the most excruciating known to medicine.
I mean, it's astronomical. It's unfathomable.
That battle is now much harder after funding loss takes away the only drug that has kept Becker alive past the estimated 6 months expected by doctors. Now, it's been over 3 weeks since his last dose of medication. Although these professionals are still working to understand how Becker got sick in the first place, he says all signs point to stress.
Once this medication wears off, we're talking weeks that I probably have to live.
The drug, which isn't covered by insurance, cost over $11,000 for every dose, and it's something Becker needs twice a month.
If I die, it's simply going to be because a drug was too expensive.
The added cost is something Becker's family says they cannot afford.
We haven't been able to get disability. The fact that we have a GoFundMe, which literally all of our money is that I'm $80,000 in credit card debt, and I've never had debt before. I've always been so saving and so careful with my money, but it's gone to saving Ryan's life. We've had to travel around the country to even find out what's going on to try and save Ryan.
Becker, who once worked for Spokane County as a building planner, has been on unpaid leave, relying on the generosity of his coworkers who donated their time off so he can keep his job and benefits. But losing access to his medication isn't the only hurdle his family will have to overcome for the future. Once Becker is able to get approved for disability, he says it would be considered a voluntary termination from his position.
So I just got an email. I can confirm that Ryan has been placed back on the extended healthcare option for the remaining 3 months available. This is in place through 1/31/2026. So basically you're going to have health insurance until January 31st, and then we won't have it anymore.
Okay.
Becker describes this moment of his life like a scene from an action movie.
You know, reach for my hand, reach for my hand, reach for my hand. And they reach up and they jump and their fingertips touch.
A solution just out of reach.
And it's just not far enough. And you slip and there's this slow, agonizing fall.
Becker's family has already raised close to $150,000 since his diagnosis, but now their goal is about $400,000 to try and keep Becker alive, one dose at a time.
I know that I wouldn't have made it half as far as I have if I didn't have, first off, my wife, and then secondarily, the community around me that has rallied around me.
Christian Garza, KREM 2 News.
Students made their way here to the Vandal Healing Garden and Memorial, honoring the lives of the 4 University of Idaho students taken too soon 3 years ago. The University of Idaho campus was quiet Wednesday night as students like Coeur d'Alene native freshman Luke Neary gathered at the Vandal Healing Garden to honor the lives of Madison Mogan, Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, and Kaylee Gonzalez. He says he couldn't believe the news when he first heard it.
It definitely hit close to home for a lot of us, and it obviously was just a shock, seeing, this crazy thing happen when Moscow had nothing of the sort. Moscow's not a dangerous town.
The 4 were murdered on November 13th, 2022. Students decided to hold a memorial to remember the lives gone too soon. As those attending lit candles, as well as left flowers and cards, Neary says he felt called to leave a physical letter of each victim's first initial at the garden.
I just felt this need to kind of pay tributes. Even though I didn't personally know him, it still affected this whole region of Idaho.
As hugs were shared among the crowd, Neary hopes the memorial helps those still grieving the lives lost and shines a light on the strength of the community.
Moscow has always, and North Idaho in general, has always risen above their hardships.
Connor McAvoy.
I believe we have done that with this.
KREM 2 News.
As we go to break, here's a check of your weekend forecast. Welcome back to the KREM 2 News Week in Review. Each weekend, we walk you through headlines for the past week in the Inland Northwest.
Well, 8 days after the election, Spokane City and Spokane Public School leaders gathered right here today outside Adams Elementary and confidently thanked voters for supporting Together Spokane, an initiative that will now fund multiple projects across the city.
So we're excited to start in 2026. You're going to see improvements.
The Spokane County election results report the Spokane Public Schools $200 million bond is passing with 61%, while the Spokane Parks $240 million levy is passing with 55% of voter approval. The Together Spokane website shows over 200 projects will now be funded. Some will be started right away, like the Adams Elementary rebuild. Today, the school principal shared her gratitude with the community.
We are about to start packing up boxes and make our way over to Camp Adams. It's going to be quite an endeavor, but we're happy to do it so that we can have a building that's modern and ADA accessible. So we're very excited for this. And again, thank you to our Spokane voters and to everyone who made this happen.
Among the projects expected to come from the Together Spokane initiative, some are a new trade school for Spokane Public Schools, an indoor tennis and recreation center, an expansion at the Merkel Sports Complex, 3 new neighborhood parks, and new field lights at City Way. Spokane Parks Director Garrett Jones and Spokane Public School Superintendent Adam Swinyard also shared how excited they are for the future of Spokane.
We couldn't be more excited for students like these that are standing behind us. So many tens of thousands of kids are going to benefit from this investment and this trust by the community.
And it's about the kids, it's about the adults, it's about the seniors, it's about our neighborhoods, it's about our schools and our parks. Parks and schools are the foundation of our neighborhoods and the success of our neighborhoods in Spokane.
Park leaders also mentioned today that design work will start this winter, followed by adding both maintenance and park ranger staffing in the spring as projects get underway. I'm reporting on the South Hill in Spokane, Regan Gallo, KREM 2 News.
Amanda, good evening. A stunning development in Pullman this afternoon as Dr. Elizabeth Cantwell, in one of her first major moves as WSU president, has chosen to go in a different direction to lead the Cougar athletic department into the new look Pac-12 conference. Now, Ann McCoy worked in WSU's athletic department for more than 2 decades before replacing Pat Chun, who departed for UW back in 2024. McCoy immediately took on the monumental task of conference realignment after the Pac-12 dissolved. She was also tasked with finding a new head basketball coach after Kyle Smith left for Stanford and a new football head coach after Jake Dickert left for Wake Forest. She also rolled out the athletic program's revenue sharing model in the new NIL era and worked closely with the Cougar Collective. She also oversaw drastic cuts to the track and field program, slashing all field events and limiting sprinting opportunities. In a statement, President Cantwell thanked McCoy for her 24 years of service to the university and commended her for providing leadership through, quote, one of the most complex and pivotal periods in the history of Cougar athletics. Now, this move was made without cause as WSU seeks a more fundraising-centric athletic director. Senior Deputy AD and Athletics Chief Operating Officer John Harlow has been named the acting athletic director as a national search is underway to find McCoy's replacement. This is a developing story. We will continue to keep you updated with the fallout of today's news.
Thanks for joining KREM 2 News this weekend. I'm Cody Proctor. Right now, we're taking a look back at some of the news stories from the past week.
It's been a busy 2 months for Spokane Community College's food pantry.
As you can see, we're pretty empty.
And resource navigator Dr. Suzanne Phillips.
This usually is packed full, but we're very empty on proteins right now.
It's a kind of demand she hasn't seen in 5 years at SCC.
We still have quite a few weeks to go, but so far this fall quarter, we have served over 600 students. That's through our pantry window.
Hundreds more are fed through the pantry's evening hours and a weekly second harvest farmers market. Dr. Phillips says the surge started in September, just before the government shutdown.
We used to have like 3 visits per quarter.
And it's not just students. Many who are refugees, non-traditional student parents, or homeless using the pantry. It's staffed by students like Shelby Dew, who started this work study just weeks ago.
It got super busy, yeah. The first week wasn't busy. I could do schoolwork and just help people, and then after that it was just nonstop.
Because the need has been so great, SCC removed limits on how often students can use the pantry. Shelby often sees the same classmates multiple times a week.
I actually come here too for diapers and stuff for my kids.
Much of the food is donated, but Suzanne supplements what they can't get from Second Harvest, like personal hygiene and cleaning products, using student fees.
I've had people who have never been here before, people who have just been laid off and just started school, and they're blown away. They came from like a 6-figure job and now they're at nothing.
Spokane College's foundation is appealing for donations to keep shelves stocked and to provide emergency financial aid for struggling students.
So money is always the best way.
We have more information and a link where you can donate and help out at KREM.com. Shannon Mowdy, KREM 2 News.
downtown needs you. So come on down.
Linda Beals owned Urbana Natural Salon, Spa, and Wine in downtown Spokane for more than a decade. She's always been an advocate for supporting hers and other downtown businesses. However, she says in her time as the owner, its success and perception in the community's taken an unwanted hit.
In 2009 to 2013, everything was great. Nobody noticed anything. And then things began to change.
That change, Beals says, is a result of low-barrier, permanent housing efforts made by Catholic Charities of Eastern Washington. They offer several options downtown near Beals' business at Division and First Avenue. In a lawsuit filed against Catholic Charities and the city of Spokane, it says because of these housing options near the spa, there's been alleged vandalism, thefts, property damages, and harassment over the past several years. In response, the city says they opted to move the suit to federal court late last week.
Part of our findings is these facilities are in violation of some of the federal codes of regulations.
In another effort to respond to downtown concerns, Beal hosted an open house for community members who share the same concerns. She hopes her efforts will help strengthen local businesses' success and shine a light on a city and downtown she cares about.
So what we need to do is reclaim our city and get back to normal.
We've reached out to Catholic Charities CEO Robert McCann, but have not heard back. I'm told by Beal's attorney their date in federal court hasn't been determined yet. Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Welcome back to the KREM 2 News, a week in review. We hope you're having a great weekend. Let's get back to one more story you might have missed this past week.
Hi everyone, I'm Tom Sherry. Tom's Turkey Drive going on right now at all area Spokane Rosar stores, as well as Huckleberry's on the South Hill and Super One store on the South Hill. Here's how it works. You just walk into a Rosar stores, buy one of these bags. It'll be $25, and this bag will feed a family of 4 a complete Thanksgiving dinner. Couldn't do it without great volunteers. How do we get the volunteers? Follow me. There are the volunteers. Look at those beautiful volunteers. And oh my. There she is, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carolyn. She's the spokesperson for Findlay, downtown Spokane. Correct. So we're very, very happy to meet you. We're so just as pretty in person as she is on television.
Thanks, Tom.
You guys are the driving force of our volunteers. I got to just pass this along. You said to us, you said, hey, we have got to get you the volunteers that you need. And boy, did you do it. You guys got so many volunteers, we're actually back to pre-COVID amount. That is amazing. So Scott, I got to ask you, Scott's with the marketing department at Findlay Downtown Toyota. And I just want to ask you, Scott, why is Findlay involved in this?
Well, when Findlay took over recently and bought the Toyota store just a few years ago, they're local. And so being local is really important to them. And being a downtown Toyota store, you're kind of the heartbeat of the city. Yeah. So it's critical if you're going to be a good Toyota store to give back in the community where we can. And you're one of the greatest things. I mean, you're feeding, what, 8,000 people?
8,500.
8,500 turkeys going out.
We hope. We haven't made the money yet.
Legendary.
It's amazing. Yeah. Well, that's what you guys are about. You're legendary. You're selling an incredible product.
We're so
it's
excited
a Toyota.
to be a part of this. This has been.
So I don't know. What are we going? 300,000 miles? 500,000 miles?
Let's
keep going, right?
Let's keep going.
That's what we do. Carolyn, so nice to meet you.
Thanks,
Scott, thanks again.
Absolutely.
You tell the Findlays thank you again for just being such proud supporters of Tom's Turkey Drive. Ladies and gentlemen, Findlay Downtown Toyota, we love them. Driving force of our volunteers this year. Couldn't do it without them.
Come drive a Toyota.
Let's do it.
Keep it here for more news and weather updates throughout the weekend. And don't forget, you can watch our latest newscasts anytime on your schedule on KREM 2 Plus. Download and watch right now for free. I'm Cody Proctor. Thank you for watching the KREM 2 News Week in Review.